So ini mungkin lebih kepada recap untuk chi-square. So sebagaimana kita tahu chi-square kelas dia adalah apa? Chi-square. Ini adalah cara kita tulis chi-square. Chi-square ni adalah lebih kepada kita kata association. Kita nak tengok ada perkaitan ataupun tidak antara satu variable dengan variable yang lain. So variable tersebut, which is our independent variable ataupun and our dependent variable, must be in categorical. When we say it is categorical, it means must be in kumpulan. Ada dua kumpulan. Okay. So contohnya, is there any significant association? Is there any significant association between walking steps and BMI, for example? Okay, so our research hypothesis says that is there any significant association between walking steps and BMI? So the key word here is association. So when it says association, it means it will refer to a chi-square, because when it says relationship, then we can use Pearson, or if the data is not normally distributed, we have to use Spearman. So here, when it says is there any significant association, we already know that we are going to use the chi-square. And when it says there is there any significant association between walking steps and the BMI, do make sure both variables are in categorical. It means in kumpulan. So walking step must be in kumpulan and BMI must be in kumpulan as well. Okay. If it is in numerical, both are in numerical, you cannot use chi-square. You can proceed by using Pearson. Let's say you want to use chi-square. So what you have to do, you have to transform this into into categorical first, if it is in numerical, right? But if both variables are in categorical, then you can directly proceed by using chi-square. Okay, class? But before we want to run chi-square, we have to make sure 4 of these assumptions are being met. So we cannot violate any of the assumptions here. So we must make sure that both variables are independent from each other, and then the 2 variables are categorical, as I mentioned before, and the expected count of less than 5 must be less than 20%. We have discussed this in the laboratory session. Okay, so if it is more than 20%, if the expected count is more than 20%, what you can do is that you can collapse the number of cells. For example, by perhaps we have 4 columns or 4 categorical, we can reduce it into 2 categoricals. Okay, or we can directly proceed by using Fisher-Exact. But first thing first, I think you can try to reduce the numbers of columns or the numbers of row, which mean by reducing the number of categoricals numbers. Okay, for example, you have 4 times 4 table and you want to reduce it to 2 times 2 table, so that each of the cell can get more sample size in each of the cells. And the fourth assumption is that the minimum expected count must be more than 2. So we cannot violate any of these assumptions. So we have to fulfill of these 4 assumptions for chi-square before we proceed to make a decision based on the chi-square results. Okay. So what is the expected count, class? So expected count is by calculating row column times by column total and divide by grand total. For example, you want to calculate the expected count for male who have anemia. For male who have anemia, so it means this part 19. So what you can do is you have to calculate by using this formula. So row column refers to this one, 75. Okay, and column total, this is the column total. Okay, so column total is 31, so times by 31 and divide by grand total. So this is the grand total. Okay, so this is the row column